Wait, so I should just turn my regular headphones off. Okay, here we go. How about now?
Yes, you're good.
Okay, but I can hear myself, so this is gonna be a little weird.
Well, you can turn the volume down on your phone, can't you?
No, well that's where the volume's coming from then. Because if I have it, there's not. Okay.
You should be.
This is a very complicated process.
Hooked up. You should have your
being
headphones.
A streamer
hooked up to your
is so
computer.
hard.
Have your headphones hooked up to your computer. Okay.
Yes.
Well, you're not wearing them.
Well, because I muted it there because I can't fully mute my phone. I can only mute the microphone. So my microphone is coming through this thing.
Okay. So
what a headache to start the show. I'm sorry.
But put your headphones into your phone. Can you do that?
No. It's one of the new ones that doesn't have the,
Can you put the headphones into the computer like Daniel's saying, and then don't use the headphones, listen to it on your phone?
Yeah, that's what I've been doing, but, like, I hear myself still.
I can still hear myself.
Yeah, you gotta fix that.
Okay. Like, let me tinker around with the settings on the phone a little bit more to try to mute it. I'm gonna like submerge it in water or something. There's like, okay, I'll figure this out.
Tanner.
Okay, can you like hear me? I'm like smothering it with a pillow.
It's still echoing.
Better.
It's still
echoing. That didn't solve
the issue. What if I move the mic all the way over here? How about now?
How about now?
How about now?
Yeah, really lean back.
Can you hear yourself still?
Testing 1, 2. No, I can't.
Yeah. Okay. This kind of works.
But
you can't eat the microphone.
It sounds like ASMR.
Yeah, you can't eat it.
Okay. So yeah, I shouldn't. Yeah. Okay. I'll back up a little bit from the microphone. Okay. How about now? We good?
I think we're okay.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be loud enough on the.
You know, we should start doing this on Google Hangouts. I did this exact same concept on Google Hangouts, but I was able to mute my phone.
You really can't.
They had that option.
Yeah. We can try Hangouts.
Skype sucks.
I'd have to get rid of Hangouts though.
Can you just restart it?
We haven't started.
Oh, we've
okay. This is really bad because I can't hear you guys. Then I thought Daniel started the podcast.
Yeah,
I'm really.
Yeah. I'll cut some of this out
because, like, if I turn the volume up, the volume will come through the microphone.
This is insane. I think you have to cut the camera.
Okay. You guys know what I look like.
Yeah. You have to cut the camera for this week.
I won't make any funny faces.
Next week you'll have to get a camera. Yeah. Next week you get a camera. Okay.
Is this good?
You don't have to eat the mic.
Okay. Well, I didn't have the pop filter on because. Okay. How about now?
Yeah. Tanner, yeah, you're good. Just get a web camera. I think that's.
I don't want to. Like, I'd only get a web camera for this.
Yeah, I'll buy it for you, Tanner. How much does it cost?
I don't know. I asked my dad for another birthday present.
Send me the link,
and I'll give it to Blake. Yeah. Or Stefan. They keep disappearing. I'm really bad. I thought about this morning actually. I'm wearing a Dunder Mifflin shirt. I don't like The Office. My dad thinks that I do. It's just he tries. Like, it's like in the best dad way. He tries. So, we'll give him some credit there. But yeah, I don't really like The Office. I don't know where he got that notion. I think he got it from my Facebook page. Like, on my Facebook it says I work at Dunder Mifflin.
Why'd you do that if you don't like The Office?
I was young and impressionable, in like 8th grade when I created Facebook. I don't know, a bunch of the people that added me on Facebook, my first friends on Facebook had like Dunder Mifflin as their work history. So I was like, oh, I want to be trendy. I don't really know what that is, but I'm here for it.
That makes sense. We all have questionable decisions.
In 8th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, my decision making wasn't so sound back then.
Back then?
Yeah.
This is the Experience Podcast with me and someone else. We gotta get the podcast going.
And someone else.
And another someone else.
Okay, so anyway, who do we have this week?
We have Tanner Debates on audio only.
And Arianna on audio and video, but not video for the podcast listeners, so that's unfortunate for them.
It is unfortunate for them. What's going on, guys? I don't know who to start with. Tanner, we've already covered your life.
Yeah, my life is pretty extensively detailed.
No, we haven't.
In this podcast.
What's been going on in Tanner Debates' life?
Well, the big news is I got laid off as part of like mass layoffs at the company I worked at.
I thought you were gonna. Okay, never mind.
What?
Sorry, go on.
No, I worked at OneTrust, which is a privacy management software kind of startup, and they let off like 25% of their company last month.
That's rough.
So I've been just chilling at home. Like honestly, I have a full-time job taking naps now. I'm taking naps like every day.
That's a pretty good job.
Yeah, no, it pays pretty well. Beauty sleep wise. But I actually, in exciting news, and you guys are the first to hear about this. This is a podcast exclusive breakthrough. Just got an offer today. So we're out of the hellhole called unemployment. So, which is just taking naps. Yeah. So, we're out of that. So, yeah. That's my big update is really I'm excited to go back to work and start working and figure out what a data scientist does and hopefully try to remember anything I learned in school. And hope that I learn stuff in school.
Hey, you can learn everything on the job.
That's what I'm also thinking, but I feel like I fell upward into this position a little bit. I feel like one of the higher ups just really liked me and was like, okay, as long as he's got an aptitude and a willingness to learn, you don't really need to know any data science, right? You can figure it out or we can teach you, right? But the guy right below me and the guy I guess we'll be reporting to, I guess didn't have that maybe mentality and is a little bit more unsure of me and my skills. So, but I guess it's fine to have a little bit of some caution, I think. But yeah, so I'm excited to get back to work and start working. And first date is August 15th.
Oh, that's soon.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I'm more animated now, especially after I've had my nap. I'm ready to raring to go. In other words, so that's my big update. Bit of a roller coaster over the last month, but yeah.
Pretty big news.
So, thank you.
Any other news, Tanner, that you want to... Actually, we'll save the rest for later.
We'll save the rest.
Arianna, what's up?
Arianna, what's up?
The rest for later? You always know something that I don't or something?
Yeah, what do you know, Daniel?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
know,
really don't know anything.
What is up with me? I haven't been on this podcast in forever, which means I haven't talked to Daniel in forever, and I really haven't talked to Tanner in forever either, so, what is up with me? I graduated Georgia Tech, that was back in fall, and I've been, sort of bumming it, sort of researching since, and gonna start grad school in the fall. I'm doing human-computer interaction at Georgia Tech again. because I just love Georgia Tech so much. I did go to Alaska. That was not just a fake excuse to get off the podcast. That was for research. It was likely. Yeah, I went to Alaska for research because we were making wearables for sled dogs to measure their fatigue, and we got to work with an Iditarod contestant runner, musher, and that was awesome. It was pretty cold, like March. It was cool. And now I moved to a different apartment. I'm not going to say the location on a podcast.
What's the location? Where are you? Where are you right now?
Somewhere in the Atlanta area. Yeah.
That's enough for people sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, if they already knew I go to Georgia Tech, so what difference does it make? But pretty exciting. I only have one roommate now instead of 3. And we have our own furniture, but we don't have all of the furniture yet. So currently I'm using a storage bin as a table to eat on. I don't have a bedside table yet. We just got a TV stand. Before the TV was on the ground, it looked kind of depressing. But it's coming together, you know.
Did you move in recently?
Yeah, literally like last Tuesday. It's like a week ago. It was really awkward because Paloma made us move out a day before we moved into this place. And so we had to stay the night at a friend's place and had to store our stuff at different friends' houses. It's a fun time. Trying to think what else has been new in my life. I went to Europe with my family. We went on a cruise through like Italy and Greece. It was really cool, really pretty. Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much me.
I feel like we have a podcast exclusive story here. Like, can you go into more about the Alaska trip that isn't like publicly available knowledge? Like any like, whoa, hijinks on the Alaska trip. I don't know.
Sure. Let's see what I want to share. Well, one thing is that, so it was kind of like a little bit of work, a little bit of play on this trip, because we had originally planned to be there for like 5 days, and then the musher that we were working with was like, you guys are welcome to be a part of my team for the start of the Iditarod race. And that was later on, like the next weekend, so we stayed the rest of that week. And we just got to like sightsee and stuff. So we did a lot of hiking in the snow, which I'm from Florida. I don't do snow. And I mean, it was really pretty. But so we went up this mountain, and the mountain was, I want to say 3,000 feet elevation in 2 miles. And by the end of it, I could barely walk. And sitting was very painful because my hip flexor was messed up. And I'm still kind of hurting, and I finally went to the doctor, and I have a very, very small tear in my hip muscle. So that's fun.
Well, I guess you heard it here, folks. That's a very interesting injury and story, and accompanying story. Thank you.
You're welcome. But yeah, it was good. We went to the Native American art market, we went hiking up that mountain. We did a smaller hike. We got to work with the musher, see the Iditarod race. We went and saw a glacier. That was really cool. Got to walk on it and everything because it was all frozen. Yeah, lots of hikes.
It wasn't melting. It wasn't.
I mean, yeah, it's melting, really slowly, but it was still snowy in March, so it wasn't like. I mean, it was still pretty dangerous because they would say, basically, you weren't able to step anywhere where you didn't see any footprints, because like, if it was just fresh snow, then it could mean that there was a pocket underneath of it. And so you could just fall down into the crevasse.
Jeez. How did those first people put those footsteps there and, like, know where to step?
Yeah, so the people that
hate to go first.
The people that work there go out and, like, throw rocks to test where they can step. So they'll throw little pebbles, and if the pebbles go really far down, then they put like a cone there, and then they know where they can and can't go. I mean, the trails are more obvious, obviously, when it's like summertime and everything's melted, but they said every time it snows, they have to go out there and do it again, because
it sounds like a full-time job.
Yeah.
Snow in Alaska every time it snows.
Yeah.
Where in Alaska is this?
Huh?
Where in Alaska? Northern Alaska?
We were in Anchorage, so okay. I guess it's like southern Alaska. So yeah.
I would have just brought a really long stick for that job instead of throwing rocks. I feel like you'd run out of rocks at one point, but you wouldn't run out of a really big stick. Unless you dropped it. I don't know. Like, like a walking stick.
I guess that a walking stick would help you in like the shorter distances, but if you wanted to test like further away, you can't just reach your stick over there.
Okay. So there's a purpose of throwing rocks.
Yeah. They got a system.
And what's their full-time like job like title? It's not like rock thrower, is it?
No, they give the tours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tour guide / rock thrower.
They're a tour guide, yeah, / glacier maintenance, I guess.
And then I guess my other question, and I didn't read about this in your trip. So tell me about the actual device that was used on the. Are they huskies?
Yeah.
Mush dogs? What do you?
Most of them are like huskies. Okay. Really, I think they can be a lot of different mixes of dogs, but most of them are huskies.
How do you measure fatigue on a dog using, I guess, some kind of interactable technology? So it's still a bit of a work in progress, but we have an IMU and a load cell. And we're measuring two things. We're measuring how hard they're tugging on the line using the load cell, and then the IMU with like accelerometer and gyroscope data. We're trying to get gait analysis. That's really the part that's not there yet. But yeah, basically when we talked to a bunch of mushers, we figured out that two of the easiest ways to discover if the dog is, or tell if the dog is tired, is their gait has changed or they're not pulling as hard. And the gait can happen either because they're just tired or maybe they've got like frost in their paw. So those are the two things we're trying to figure out. We wanted to figure out heart rate because that's something that the musher can't see, but it's also a really good way to tell the dog's not doing well because their heart rate will go either too fast or too low.
High or low. But the issue with the heart rate is that in order to get an accurate reading, you'll have to shave the fur off, and no one wants to shave the fur off of their dog when they're running through the Alaskan tundra. So.
No, that makes sense. I didn't know people still like mush. Is it only for races, or is it for like, actual transportation purposes?
Kind of both. I mean, people in Alaska, Norway, probably Iceland, even like Michigan, Canada, there's like a ton of races. It's not just the Iditarod. So they're training all year round. And, I think I don't want to necessarily be quoted and it's not true, but I think it's a pretty big part of the, Alaskan Native American culture too. So, I think they still use it for transportation. But yeah, these dogs, we got to work with them, so they're super energetic. Like, they really want to run. Like, PETA's really anti-Iditarod and anti-sled dog racing, because it's dangerous and injuries happen. But, like, when you see these dogs, they're very calm up until, like, the sled comes out, and then they're absolutely bonkers. We were trying to put them in their spots in the sled, the arrangement, and they're practically just like dragging the people to their spot. And the musher basically has to like limit them because they will just run for as long as they want, like even further past what is healthy to do.
How fast does the sled usually get?
I think they can go up to it depends on the dogs, but I remember him telling us that they can go up to like 20 miles an hour, but he keeps them around 11 miles an hour so that they don't tire out too fast or push themselves too hard. Because they want to go fast, so he holds them back.
And did that present any problems with, I guess, your technology solution, or like, I don't know, the speed at which they're going and jostling around? Would it mess anything up? I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I mean, this trip up there, since it was pretty preliminary, it was more so to get like feedback from him on what he thought of the device, and just to prove that we could do a run and get data, not necessarily like use the data, if you know what I mean. Like,
mm-hmm. Like proof of concept, kind of?
Yes, it's completely proof of concept, yeah. We're hoping to go back again next year, and by that point, hopefully things will be more, like, useful data that we can actually use to prove that our device works correctly. But, I mean, it's an interesting thing because when we're at home, we're trying to test stuff, and we actually discovered this group called the Georgia Urban Mushing Group on Facebook. And it's like these people there's this sport called Canicross, and they do like, it's basically cross country but with your dog. So you just have like the dog pulling you as you're running. It's crazy. I've tried it. It was kind of fun.
What do you mean by pulling you? Like you're on a skateboard and they're pulling you?
Well, you could do that if you want, I guess, but no, it's like you have a harness, and then the leash connects your harness to their harness, and you just run while your dog is running.
Oh, okay.
So it's like essentially sort of the same thing as sledding, but you're the sled. And we were working with a lot of people from that group, but the data with that is interesting because you have a person and a dog, and so you can't really necessarily say that the dog changed its force and pulling solely by itself, because like the person is also either
running alongside
up or slowing down and changing that tension. So it's also dependent on the person as well. But yeah, it's we submitted a proof of concept paper to a conference and just got accepted. So the conference is in England in December. So I guess I'm going to England.
So what group was this for?
I feel like I'm in a job interview right now.
No, I'm just curious. I don't know anything cool. about it.
Yeah. What did you learn from this experience?
This wasn't like was this a passion project? Like you just wanted to help?
No, I mean like it's kind of become one, but it was for a class that I did my last semester in the fall. It was called Animal-Computer Interaction, and basically most of the class is doing a group project for the entirety of the semester, and that was our group project. Actually, this is the class that made me miss 2 out of the 3 rehearsals every single week for marching band. But yeah, we worked on it for the entirety of the semester, hadn't finished it yet, and our professor was like, well, if you finish making the device and it works before the end of March, then I'll fund you guys to go to Alaska. So that's why we were like, okay, yeah, we'll keep working on it. And so we kept working on it, and now at this point it's just because we really like doing it, and it's been a good time. I mean, that's what I've been doing in between undergrad and grad, is just working. Like January and February was working on making the devices work before going to Alaska, and then after Alaska was writing the paper, and now it's pretty chill. We're just revising things.
So what's kind of next? What do you mean by revising things?
We're revising the paper, but
okay.
After that, which is probably due like September, we'll go back to trying to fix. We might even do that earlier than September. But our next steps are kind of basically we're trying to figure out the gait analysis portion of it by using a booty, like a little slipper thing, and putting one booty on a dog and having the dog run with the device and then having the dog run without that booty to see if we can prove a difference in the data to kind of simulate a bad gait, since there's no other way really to simulate a bad gait ethically.
So wait, are you testing if having a booty on affects their running in general? Or
no, we're testing to see if, because the booty should change their running pattern just having one on.
Oh, yeah.
Our point is to try to simulate what a dog with a bad gait would be like. So then we're trying to see if we can notice a difference in the data to prove that we could notice a difference between their normal gait and an abnormal gait.
Okay. I thought you were kind of using like, I don't know, like a booty that had, I don't know, what is it, a piezoelectric sensor that could, sense a change in rhythm, a slow down. I thought that's what gait was like the pace that they were going. Am I wrong? Is a gait like they're walking funny rather than the pace is slowing down?
Gait is just like how you walk. So, I mean, with the accelerometer, what we're getting is really the up and down, side to side motions, but I guess with this, probably the easiest way to detect the difference is probably going to be up and down, just noticing how many times their feet hit the ground and when. But that's kind of like the main focus, trying to develop some sort of algorithm classifier to be able to detect bad gait, because the goal is to do it in real time so that a musher could use this like during the race. And basically the end goal is to have like an app where they can just look at circles on their phone, and one circle is one dog. Mm-hmm. And if the dog goes from red or from green to yellow or green to red, then like the dog because when they're during the race, they're allowed to give one dog a break at a time, because they could just take the dog and put it in the sled with them. So this kind of helps them to know which dog needs to be in the sled and when. Hopefully.
How long are the races usually? Like how many miles?
It's 1,000 miles.
Whoa, what?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I mean,
okay, so
other races throughout the year are a lot smaller, obviously, but this is the big one that they lead up to. And it takes them an average. Some people are incredibly fast and get there in 8 days, but it's usually around 10 days that people make it there.
That is way faster and way longer than I expected. I thought this was like you could do it in a day.
Oh no,
like kind of thing. Okay.
No, it's like a marathon. It's really long.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing the whole experience and the whole project with us. I appreciate it. You passed this portion of the interview. Daniel, any thoughts?
No.
I don't have any follow-up questions for the interview.
Thank you.
You're hired. You're hired.
Yay! I'm pretty sure I witnessed a job interview happening at Dancing Goats the other day. I was sitting with a friend outside of Dancing Goats over by Ponce, and there were these two older men and a young guy, and they were like asking him a bunch of questions, and I don't remember what they were about, but it definitely sounded like a job interview.
Maybe it was just an unorthodox group of friends asking very unorthodox friend questions. Like, I oftentimes ask my friends, what's your greatest strength?
Tell me about this project.
Tell me about a time. Yeah. I phrase questions like that.
Tell me about a time you faced a challenge.
Maybe it was a friend interview.
Do people do interviews at coffee shops?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, you could have like a preliminary interview in a coffee shop.
Maybe a more informal one, yeah.
Not a coding interview.
I had an interview at a restaurant. That's actually how I got, I guess, the job I just got offered for. It was like an informal. I didn't really think it was like an actual interview. I thought it was just, talk about the position. But then they kind of shifted more toward an interview. But I think I impressed them because I knew like the history of not the restaurant, but like the food that the restaurant supported. But yeah, so I guess I don't know. I wanted to talk about this a little bit. Daniel, have you seen Succession? You watch a lot of HBO, which we know isn't TV, it's HBO. And you like HBO, right? Have you seen Succession?
It's a lot of assumptions right there.
Well,
I have seen Succession though.
Okay, but your favorite show is Chernobyl, right?
Favorite show is probably not Chernobyl.
Okay, well it's up there, I'm sure.
Are you saying his favorite show is Chernobyl because of his job?
No, I know he likes it. He likes it a lot, and it just so happens that he's also got a tangentially related job. It's tangentially related because there's a reactor meltdown, and the objective of his job is to prevent that.
Obviously.
But so I've started watching Succession. I started last Thursday. I'm on season 3 already. So of like hour-long episodes, I'm like on episode 3 of season 3.
That's fast, but
yeah, no, things are starting to get weird. So in my naps, like I don't know, last Saturday, I woke up it was kind of a nightmare. I was in like a boardroom, and I was like, guys, we're gonna beat this. We're gonna fight this thing. Like thinking of solutions, how we can, I don't know, beat this takeover. Like, oh, well, we'll split the shares. If we split the shares, what does that do? Like, I was in an episode of Succession, and I was like, we're gonna fight this. We're gonna beat this thing. Like a boardroom executive. And so basically, it's getting to me, is what I'm trying to say. The show has like, it's burrowed its way into the deep recesses of my mind.
Maybe you should slow down.
That's what my mom said. She said, okay, it's time to cut you off. But I disagree. You know, I'm having fun watching. I think it's a great show.
Your life to become Succession. That's how much you've been engulfed into it.
A little bit. I just, accepted a job offer for corporate America. So I'm already, beginning my first steps. But I guess today I also had another Succession dream in one of my naps. I don't remember it though. It was one of those naps where you wake up and you're like a little sweaty. And you're like, whoa. And you're a little bit tired after your nap.
Uh-huh.
Because the nap was exhausting. Because you had a dream where you were in corporate America. So, I don't know. I thought I'd get that out there. Not that I'm like using you guys as a sounding board for like therapy, for that I desperately need, because I have. Don't see through my intentions. Don't see through my intentions. But yeah, so that's been the most recent development. Is I had another Succession dream, and it's getting to me. So what do you guys think?
What do I think? I think you might need a little break from Succession.
But I've almost finished the show.
How many episodes do you have left?
7.
I'll just finish it.
Yeah, exactly. What more damage can it do, after the fact?
I mean, eventually you won't have any more Succession to watch, and you won't have any more Succession dreams. So
when is it coming back? It's probably
coming back soon with season 4. I know.
It's gotta be.
But yeah, so I hit like the critical mass of people telling me, "Dude, you have to see Succession. You have to see it." So I finally.
I'm gonna tell you a secret. I haven't seen Succession.
Okay, well, we're keeping this spoiler free, but you should watch it. And that isn't a spoiler. You should watch it. It's so good, they'll sue you for not watching it.
I think you may be the millionth person to tell me to watch Succession.
Well, you have to hit that critical mass event where, enough people tell you to watch it. That's like, okay, I give in. I'll start having dreams when I'm in a boardroom.
It's like the point where I can't handle people telling me, why haven't you watched Succession anymore? Just like my father, there's this show on Apple TV called Tehran, and it's about like spies in Iran, and he thinks it's he thinks it's such a good show that every time, I'm not even joking, I'm not exaggerating, every time he calls me, he says, have you watched Tehran yet? And I'm like, no, I have not. And it could be the next day, and he's like, have you watched Tehran yet? I'm like, I said no yesterday, it's still no today. At some point, I will have to watch Tehran, so he stops asking me if I watched Tehran.
You should tell him, hey, as soon as you stop, recommending it, then I'll watch it. And then you solve 2 problems at once, it seems. And Daniel, what do you think? What do you think of these Succession dreams? And what's your like Daniel's top 5 TV shows and movies? Because I know you always have your finger on the pulse of America's culture and TV and movie culture in America. So I just want to hear your 5.
My top 5. Did I talk?
Wow, that's fantastic. Thanks for the recommendation, Daniel.
I don't have a top 5. I watch too much. Tanner, let's not bury the lead. You went to a tournament this past week.
Yes. I went on a date, and it was in Atlantic Station, and it just so happened that the Atlanta Open was also kind of a little bit beyond Atlantic Station. So after dinner, we kind of found the plan was to maybe try to find a vantage point, like break into Dillard's and see if we can look at the window at the game or something. Because Dillard's, I don't know, goes up 3 floors and maybe you get a vantage point. But I don't know. We found a place near the parking garage and you could kind of see the game a little bit, but we could also plan like a break-in route and escape plan. So we looked at it and essentially we snuck into the Atlanta Open. They went through the security with the wands and the, take off your jackets and your phones and wallets and whatever. And as they were doing that, I guess people in front of us were getting their tickets checked, but they didn't have like a line. They had just like one guy who's scanning, your phone for tickets. And so, while he was preoccupied, we basically just snuck around him. Yeah, it was really easy. I was like, okay, let's go. And so we snuck into the Atlanta Open, and we saw like some of the games, and no, it was cool. So I'd say it was a success.
Tanner, when we started this podcast, you said, "Yeah, the big news is I got laid off." I didn't even realize. Okay, no, okay.
That's
why I laughed when you said that. I was like, oh, he's gonna say, oh.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry.
The title of this episode.
Actually, you could.
Tanner got laid.
That's really good.
Off.
That's very punny. Very punny indeed. Write that down, Daniel. I'll do it.
Yeah. You got it.
I just wrote down the word succession.
Are you sure you were wanting to admit that you snuck into the Atlanta Open on?
Yeah, I'm a bit of a bad boy. I want that publicly known. I'm trying to get my clout. I'm trying to get my clout up. Yeah. This podcast hasn't done me any favors from social standing perspective. So I'm using it to like pretty much tarnish my reputation, but also kind of establish a bad boy reputation.
Sure.
So you could title it "Tanner Debates Sneaks into the Atlanta Open." Tune in at 40 minutes and 39 seconds to hear the full story of how he did it. You can title it that. I don't care. I'm a ruthless renegade. I'm a bad boy with nothing to lose. Well, maybe I have something to lose now, because now I have a job. So
you should include that. Bad boy with nothing to lose, except a
on
job.
my resume? Or just in the comments?
In the description of the podcast episode.
Actually don't, because they told me they're doing a background check, and I'm worried that like any new hyperlinks that, you add Tanner Debates to, that's what they said. They're like, okay, we'll do a background check, it'll take 3 to 5 days. I'm like, great, and you can't see my camera. It's not on, because I don't have one. But I'm like doing like the seething through your teeth, like, sure, yay, do a background check. Sure.
Just wait 3 to 5 days to post this episode.
Yeah, Daniel, can you just wait 3 to 5 days until I'm gainfully employed before you post evidence of my wrongdoing? A willful confession.
Come out on the 9th.
That's not good enough. You have to delay it. I need a job.
We'll have to record another episode in the meantime.
Oh, no, that's even worse. No, just go ahead and release it. But yes, that was exciting. No, my life is literally a movie. The previous weekend, and I know that's the worst thing anyone could say ever. The previous weekend I went to Tampa to visit my friend Henry. I think, Daniel, you've met Henry. Maybe. He came over one time while we were roommates. So I visited him, and then this next weekend I'm going with Prerna and Alex Bohr. I know Arianna knows Prerna, but I don't know if Daniel does. Yeah, we're going to New Orleans. I think you do.
Oh, that's fun.
So yeah, we're going on a NOLA trip. I'm driving.
Oh God.
Yeah. Road trip.
Alex is
Bohr,
going,
the trumpet player.
Yeah, but he's going to go back to you, and then you're going to drive.
Yes.
Yeah, wait.
That seems a bit inefficient.
Where does Perna live now?
Phoenix. So she's flying in right now.
Yeah, this all seems very inefficient.
What do you mean?
Wait, why is Alex coming to Atlanta and then going down to New Orleans? Why isn't he going to New Orleans?
So that's a great question. That's a great question from the both of you. So Alex still has his family here, which I'm sure he's going to visit and see, and that's also a primary reason for his trip.
Okay.
So otherwise, yes, it would make sense for him to meet us in NOLA, because I'm sure it's less of a drive. But I think also there's some camaraderie in, a road trip that takes 8 hours one way. So 16 hours over a 72-hour, period is what 22% of the road trip is going to be spent, or trip is going to be spent in the car. So, so I think there's some camaraderie and some, character building there.
I'll ask. Let me know what time so we can record the podcast on your trip.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, it's an 8-hour car trip, so you can call between 5 a.m. and whenever we get there at 4. But what were we going to ask, Arianna?
It's an 8-hour drive? I thought it was more like 5.
Maybe if you drive really, really fast. Or if you get a couple sled dogs with rocket boots.
Yeah.
How long is it? Atlanta to NOLA. Well, it's about $198 nonstop. That doesn't answer your question, though. 6 hours and 57 minutes.
Okay.
So yeah, with pit stops, whatever, 8 hours. Because I think we'll probably alternate and cycle who drives.
Right. Yeah, it'll probably take you 8 hours then.
But yeah, so that's fun. My life is a movie, so I'm trying to go on more vacations. My mom was like, okay, so you need to go on as many vacations before you get hired, and then you have to start taking vacation days. Go abuse unemployment as much as possible. So I've been trying to live it up, I guess. That and the naps. So that's
a bit ironic if you
What do you mean?
Fat naps and Succession.
Fat naps in Succession, yeah. Falling asleep to watching Succession. That's what's doing it. That happened. Oh my god.
You should fall asleep to watching Succession while on vacation. And then that's like the trifecta. And
wake up screaming about Succession, so Alex and Prerna finally know I'm crazy. I haven't told them yet. They think I'm a sane, rational person still. I can't let them know. So that's why you need to release this in a couple days, Daniel, after the road trip and after the background check.
Well, yeah, it'll be released after the road trip.
Okay, well, I hope so.
Yeah, we're not, because you're going this weekend.
Yeah, I hope so.
Daniel, who's our special guest? Why isn't that...
Yeah, they're not showing up. They got held up.
Out them.
Yeah, really, throw them under the bus.
They got held up at...
Who they could have had on the podcast, but...
They could have, learned more about my Succession dreams. I feel like that's the most interesting thing that's happened to me recently. Is I had a nightmare where I was in Succession.
I feel like sneaking into the Atlanta Open is pretty exciting.
Yeah, and it actually happened. So I guess that is compared to a dream. I guess that is a little bit more realized. Yeah.
Also, are you playing with your microphone, Tanner?
Yes, can you hear it?
Yes.
I don't know. Okay, sorry. Is it like, can you hear the springs like that? Oh no!
Jeez.
Shit, I'm so sorry, guys. Well, just scrap the podcast, throw it away, delete the whole channel.
The whole episode gone to trash.
Wait, so was it really that bad throughout that? I thought it was really silent.
It's been the last 5 minutes.
Oh man, I was having fun playing with the spring.
Yeah, it sounded like it. I didn't want to stop you.
Aww. Damn. Okay. Sorry. I have my hands. I'm sitting on my hands right now. You can't see it, but I'm repositioning to sit on my hands.
Daniel, I haven't heard anything about your life. I want to hear about your life.
You don't want to hear about my life.
Yeah, I do. I haven't talked to you in ages.
We're running out of time on this episode, but we'll try to squeeze it in here. Let's see. What have I done recently? I visited the I visited. So the mystery person that wasn't able to make it tonight is the person that I visited this past weekend.
Was it Maisie?
Maybe. It's the person, I'll say, for promotional reasons, it's the person who was on last week's episode. So.
Oh, so we'll have to watch last week's episode to figure out who?
You'll have to download it. I mean, what do I, So, I visited them for the weekend, and Noah came up, so, too, because he was kind of in the area.
Definitely Maisie. I saw it on Be Real.
Oh, gosh. She took some photos. So that's what I have going on now. Yeah, work's a little hectic right now. My schedule might be completely changing. So, I gotta shift some vacations around and stuff like that. Figure things out. But,
like, are you not gonna be working, like, your normal hours?
No, I'll be working my normal hours, but probably, like, we're going from 5 shifts to 4 shifts.
Is that gonna affect your pay?
They're not planning on changing the pay rate. I get paid by the hour, so technically, if I'm working more, I get paid more, but I also have to work more.
Oh, they're fitting in the same hours, but just they're lengthening the shifts. Okay.
No. The shifts are still 12 hours, but yeah, instead of 5 different shifts rotating through a 5-week period, it's going to be 4 shifts rotating through a 4-week period.
Interesting. So
I don't know how else to describe this, but I'll be working more.
Be getting paid less because you're working.
No. Okay. Let me start over. My job right now is 5 shifts on a 5-week rotation. Right, so each shift is doing each week, and then you rotate through. So you work like days, and you work nights and whatever. Okay.
Sure.
We're now downsizing to go to 4 shifts on a 4-week rotation. So they're packing in how much you're working. Instead of a certain amount of days on the 5 weeks, you're working a certain amount of days over 4 weeks. So you're adding extra days because you're working more days now.
Okay, I got it.
On a per week basis, if you want.
I'm thinking of a shift as a day, and it's not.
Because it's days or nights, yeah. So.
Yeah.
But my hourly pay is the same, probably. I don't think the company will raise that. But they probably should, because we'll have to work more now. And if you have vacations scheduled on certain days where you would have had off days, now you might not. You might be scheduled to work. Things can be the opposite.
Things around now.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's all that. So I was planning on visiting Nadia in October, but now I will have to jump through some hoops to make sure that happens.
Gotcha. Well, maybe I could visit Nadia in October.
Yeah. Why don't you go to my place?
That'd be fun.
Tanner, any questions?
Make it happen.
Do I have any questions about your shift? No. Honestly, Daniel, keep up the good work. I'm proud of you. You're doing great stuff. I haven't heard any news about, any Chernobyl type situations, so I assume that's all you're doing, and hats off. So you're doing the best for the most, some would say. So appreciate you, and you're a hero. Some might say that they would say that you're a superhero, and you keep us all safe. So don't humble yourself here. You're my personal hero.
Tanner,
I wish you could see the camera.
Here.
No, well, if there was anything I wanted to do, it wasn't working at a nuclear
be a hero
plant, because I don't want to be a hero. I just want to know that, Daniel, you are my hero.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so thank you, Daniel. Thanks for your service.
Yeah, thank you for your service, Daniel.
Really going off the walls now.
Yeah. No, sorry for the memeing.
What else do I want to know? What about, like, apart from work, what's going on in your life? So you visited Noah and Elizabeth and Daisy. You want to visit Nadia. What else is happening in your life?
Life-wise. What is happening in my life?
The podcast.
Podcast still going.
Podcast is his life.
Problem is, the more I work, the less life I have.
Preach.
Currently, you're all life, no work, Tanner.
Yeah.
Here, you want to swap?
Yeah, I know. Put me in, coach.
I have a test tomorrow. I gotta take a test tomorrow, so.
Yeah, I can.
I'm ready.
Give me your driver's license or whatever is needed to pass as you, and I can take it for you in your stead.
Like a work test, or are you like doing a master's?
No, a work test. Yeah, I did a master's. A work test.
A work test. Oh.
Yeah, we have training a few times a year where you go to classroom training for like a week, a few times a year.
To make sure the thing doesn't blow up.
Pretty much.
Cool. That's good. Good job, facility, for making people take classes.
That's like a government thing, I think. I think that's like a Department of Energy requirement.
That's it? A test?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
You know my whole schedule tomorrow? I can tell you.
Yeah, what are you doing
What do you have
tomorrow?
for breakfast tomorrow?
Breakfast. I got some cereal. That's it.
What kind of cereal?
I don't know.
You don't know what kind
it's really like
is?
It's really like a granola kind of a thing. Pretends to be a cereal. It's a cereal grain.
I got a box for my cereal today. You know, one of those, like, white girl organizers.
Yeah, what's the point of that?
You know those people on, like, TikTok or Instagram, and they talk about how they reorganize their whole pantry and their fridges with those plastic bins? I succumbed to one. And it was for my cereal, because I heard that if I get a cereal bin, then my cereal won't go stale as quickly, because it's enclosed in a bin as opposed to just being open in the box. So we shall see.
I feel like that takes several, maybe like a week or two to go stale. How long are you taking to eat your cereal?
I'm gonna be honest, so every time I kind of start new, like maybe the beginning of a school year, or like I moved into a new apartment, for some reason I give myself false hope in that I will eat breakfast. And so I buy myself cereal, and I have cereal for a good, like, I don't know, week, maybe like less than a week, 5 days, and then I stop doing breakfast because I get lazy. And so my cereal box just sits there kind of full for like a while, and then it goes stale. And then I'm like, one day I'll be like, oh, I should have cereal, and then I go and it's like, oh, it's stale. So.
Tanner's a big breakfast guy, so.
Actually, I'm the opposite. I'm a small breakfast guy in that I don't eat breakfast.
I don't understand this don't eat breakfast. I've never understood that. Are you hungry?
No.
So you're basically
I'd rather
going
just
from like,
save my appetite for lunch.
You're going from dinner to lunch. You're going like probably.
A long time.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how long, because whenever you're eating dinner and whatever, but you're going probably over 12 hours is the point.
Yeah, but like I don't know, it is over 12 hours, but like You get used to it, I feel.
I get that. I usually do a granola bar, and that kind of like pulls me a little bit.
That's
Yeah,
right, but
or
that's
some
something.
pieces
You know,
of
that's
fruit
different
is
than not
not.
eating at all.
Yeah. Yeah, or I'll have an apple.
Like a piece of fruit. I have some watermelon or blueberries or whatever fruit I have, grapes. Like just some, and that's occasion. That's if I have fruit. Breakfast is more like a situational thing. Like if there is the possibility for small breakfast, I'll mange it, but like not usually.
Did you say I'll mange it?
Like I'll eat a little bit. Throw in a little Italian word. Make sure I'm cultured. Before I send this picture, I want to send a picture once the podcast is done from one of the Tampa trips. Yeah. Well, once the podcast is done. So we can end it right here. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you do eat breakfast, please leave an audio comment. You can do that on anchor.fm/the-experience. So please, we'd love to hear your audio comments. If you have any, please. Thank you so much for listening.
Like, follow, and subscribe for more.
Like, follow, and subscribe. All right, cut it, Daniel. Come on, cut the podcast already. Cut the